All right. If you're watching this back on replay, we have Kyle here with Real Estate Content AI, and we are going to be going through our onboarding, learning how to use it. So, Kyle, you have
Wonderful.
the floor. Teach us your ways.
All right. Well, I'm gonna share my screen real quick here.
Okay.
There's Denisha and Missy. Wonderful. Okay. So here is just some quick overview stuff. Here is the main real estate contents.ai dashboard. So when you log into your account, first thing you're going to see, it's going to ask you a couple questions. And then the next screen will be this main home screen right here. Your month will probably look something like this because it doesn't have any content filled out yet. What you're going to need to do is fill out those profile questions. Now, if you've joined one of my onboarding calls before, like Stacy and a lot of others have, we'll go through these profile questions in depth, and we can do that again here today if we need to. We also go through some stuff like post branding, so setting up your post branding to be the most effective possible, colors, connecting social media accounts, and then we'll also go through what is the best way to create the content in that calendar. So that's the main basics, is setting up those profile questions, going into your settings screen on the left hand side and typing in your post branding, and then also creating that content in your calendar. And just remember too to make sure that your accounts are connected. I have a YouTube video that details exactly what you guys need to do. That should all be in your email inbox to connect these social media profiles. And once those are done, you only have to do it once, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. What I want to do really quick, because I think it'll answer a lot of questions. By the way, if you haven't been on one of my general onboarding calls, you can always click on this join weekly training button down here on the bottom left. And that's going to give you my time slots for the week. So here in the calendar, you'll see I have one this afternoon, 2 o'clock. You'll just need to click on this arrow, and that will show you all the other times that I have ongoing for the rest of the month. I always have 2 calls on Mondays, 2 calls on Tuesdays, and 2 calls on Fridays. Those calls go over the same thing every single time. So if you've already done one, you shouldn't have to do another one. So I want to open this class up just for you guys to ask specific questions. And I think when answering those questions, we're going to cover a lot of the basics. So, Miss Stacy, I know you are chomping at the bit. So I want you to lead us off. Give me some of your questions here so I can answer those and show everybody how to do it. Oop.
You're muted, Stace.
Okay. Um, so I had I've been trying to play around with it and I've had some successful posts already go out. But I did find, so after we did the onboarding on last Monday, I did try to go in and do some of my uploads.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I just missed the mark because it's possible. I didn't see like it was uploading as a background and not so much like um I saw you do in the tutorial. And then I created a Canva. Well, not I created a Canva. I used the Canva integration to publish like this weekend situation, like, stuff going on over the weekend. And it was supposed to be a carousel post. So it posted on Instagram correctly. It did not post as a carousel on Facebook or LinkedIn. It posted like just individual pictures.
Mhm.
And then the text wasn't there, um, which was odd. So I had to go back in and manually, input the text. Um, so so I guess those are my biggest ones. It's just making sure that what I want uploaded can come over from Canva because I have a lot of my stuff in Canva. And then I do have it on my hard drive or my desktop, but I just couldn't figure that part out at all. And then I just want to make sure that when I do upload, and it seemed like that only did that for what I pulled from Canva. So when you click the link, take it back to Real Estate Content AI, the images were there, but for whatever reason, when it came time to post, the texts were missing, and then, like I said, it did not post like a carousel. So those are my two main things.
Yep. But I can show you how to correct all those real quick. So what I'll do with the background. So your first question was, hey, I'm uploading my images, but they're uploading as backgrounds rather than it being an entire post. So this will be a good opportunity for me to show everybody while answering this question, how to upload your own photos and what the difference is between uploading your photos so that AI can use those as backgrounds versus uploading your photos and having them schedule in the calendar as its own standalone post. So the first thing, if I
Or as like my picture, like you know how you did that example of like your picture in the corner? I
mhm.
uploaded that and I couldn't get it to be, like a movable image within the post. So
Yeah,
that too.
I'll answer that as well. So first thing is if you're using this calendar and you like say you have a setup like mine where I've got AI stuff for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and maybe I want to post something on Tuesdays and Thursdays that's not AI related, right? You have something like a personal post, lifestyle post, whichever. So the order of operations to do that, on one of those blank days, you're going to click more options, and then you will click upload your own content. That's going to give you a blank. And then from that blank, you can add your own photos or videos, and that blank will upload, will create one of these blocks just like this. But that block, if you click on it, instead of having one of our AI generated videos or AI generated pictures like this, it will have your own photo or video that will publish on that date and time. So again, to access that, it's just see it'll open up a blank that looks just like this. You can type in your caption here, you click upload your own content, and that will allow you to have non-AI posts inside of your calendar. So you all have everything in one spot. You can have your lifestyle stuff plus the AI stuff, and you don't have to bounce around a bunch of different profiles. If you if you click on upload your own content, it's going to default to Instagram up here. But if you click on where it says Instagram, you can see I can select Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and TikTok. So I can do all of those within one post that is not AI related. The other option is what if I want to upload photos as a background, and then how do you bring those photos in as a headshot like this instead of making those the background? So let's do one of those. So let's say I've got a picture like this. I'm going to click on edit template. Here's what AI has created for me. If I select backgrounds on the left-hand side, it's going to give me the option on the left, on the top left, this big red button that says upload files. Now, clicking upload files is where AI will allow you to bring in all of your images, and all the images that I bring in here are going to save into my uploads folder. So to access that uploads folder, I just clicked on backgrounds, and then in the top left right here, I selected uploads. Here's all the uploaded pictures that I have. You guys are going to see that I have two different kinds of pictures that I've uploaded. So I have pictures that are background images like this, and then I also have logos, logos and headshot right here. So the difference is once I upload these photos, if I click on one of those images, you can see that will now become the background image. But for these down here, you'll see if I click on that, that's just made it my entire background. We don't want that, right? So what you want to do is these three dots right here, you click on those three dots, you click add sticker, and then it pops in like that. And that's going to allow you to layer all of those things together. And you can bring in as many stickers and designs as you want to. I always like, if I'm going to have my headshot right here, I'll usually delete this pill because it already has my head in it. So I'll click backspace on that, and maybe I'll bring in a logo or something. Right. Once you guys are done editing this, you just click save and exit up here at the top, or you can save it as a preset that you could apply to other photos that you have in your calendar, so you don't have to keep building this over and over again. Okay, so that's the background stuff. I want to talk about the carousels. So carousels are supported by Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and TikTok. No, TikTok's just doing video now for their uploads on Facebook, but they all display differently. So every single social media profile allows you to post multiple photos at once, but every single social media profile displays them in a different way. So Instagram is going to have that traditional carousel style. Facebook is just going to post a whole mess of images at one time. In fact, that's actually why we have set up our system to not post carousels on Facebook. because we know that when you post multiple images on Facebook, it doesn't look very good. So by default, you can see it's created a carousel for Instagram, a single image for Facebook, and a carousel again for LinkedIn. That LinkedIn image, it posts as a sequence of PDFs, and that is how LinkedIn does carousels.
So is that why? So, because the carousel that I did through content created through Real Estate AI posted beautifully on LinkedIn, but the
Mhm.
one that I did in Canva that I created, that's when it did like the mess of pictures, like it was just individual posts in LinkedIn. It
Right.
did it right in Instagram, but in LinkedIn for whatever reason, but I didn't change the images over to PDF. So should I have done that?
You could, it should auto convert, but if you were to try it again, you could try converting it over to a PDF. But it should.
Mm,
We have code built in that would automatically convert it. I'm wondering if it just got caught up because of some kind of Canva setting, but I can take a look at that.
okay.
Yep. But that's why if you guys try to post multiple images on Facebook, because our system will allow you to do that. It tries to discourage you from it, but you're going to see just a mess of images on Facebook because Facebook doesn't support carousels. Okay. All right. All right. We got everybody else joining here. Denisha, Missy, Mark, everyone. I want to open this up for questions from you guys as well. So do any of you guys have a quick question that you'd like me to answer about your real estate content AI profile? And then I can start going over some basics.
Um, when you say profile, do you mean like the basic setup part?
Anything just like Stacy had, like anything that you guys have been seeing on your end that I can help with just right away. And then like before I hit on the basics of the setup stuff.
Okay, I just have a quick two questions, and you can hit on it now or later. It doesn't matter. Um, I had put, I was just playing around, and it filled in my June, and I probably should have done a better job setting things up, and so I don't want any of the stuff to be there that's in there. Is
Yeah,
there a way? Oh, I just see it now. It says clear calendar.
right there.
I was like, is there a way to delete them all at once?
All at once, right there. Yeah, clear
Okay,
calendar.
I answered my own question.
You
Um,
got
Okay, and then my next question was going to be, and you might go over this for the persona part, is the different personas. And I know that you mentioned that you can't link two different accounts, but I also saw like on my Facebook, it has me select one of my pages. So is it possible to create things under one page and then come back and create things under another page, or does it always post to the page that's selected at the time that it's scheduled to post?
It will always post on the page that is selected at the time.
Okay.
So
That's what I
if,
thought, but I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, yep, absolutely. All right. So I want to go over some of these personas here. So I'm going to pull up my screen, and if you guys want to follow along with me, I'm just going to cover some basics about setting up your profile questions. Now, if you've been on one of my private or my weekly training calls before, this is going to be very similar to what we did together. But it's always worth, taking a look at, making sure there's always new opportunities to improve your profile. So the way that you guys access this, if you're following along on your account or if you're watching this recording, from that home screen, so you'll log into realestatecontent.ai, you're going to expand that left-hand sidebar, and then you're going to click on your persona, which is the very first option right here, your persona. And that's going to give you a list of 5 different questions. So these questions, I know you guys, to get into the calendar, you have had to answer these questions before. It is worth going back over these questions just to see what do good answers to questions look like. The better that we answer these questions, the better results that you are going to get from your content. So I want to briefly touch on each one of these questions right here. I'm going to give you guys some examples of how I have answered them. And I want you guys to take some notes down and improve your accounts later when you go back over your questions. So the first one I want to answer is name of company. When you click on your persona, that's the first one you're going to see is name of company. Name of company is basically who is AI pretending to be. So if you are using this for your agent profile, you're just going to type in your first and last name. If you were doing this as a business, so if I was running the Kyle Raniere real estate team, I would write the Kyle Raniere real estate team right here. Okay. So name of company, your answer name of company is just your first and last name. It's who is AI pretending to be? Is it trying to be you or is it pretending to be your business? Okay. Which area you servicing is where AI starts to create hyperlocal content for you. So you guys can see here, if I go back into my calendar and I have AI think of some topics for me, it's talking about Dallas, it's talking about McKinney and Deep Ellum and all of these different locations inside of Dallas, Texas. So if I go back into my profile, I can see I've listed out all of those locations inside of my answer. So every location that you give AI in this answer is a location that it's going to talk about in your content. I want to be very specific when I say this because if you type in something like we'll say like South Florida, right? If you said South Florida and you're expecting it to talk about Miami, it's not going to do that. It's only going to talk about the specific verbiage that you give it. So if you say South Florida and you're expecting Miami, you're going to get a bunch of posts that only say South Florida, right? It's not intuitive enough to pick up on a general area and try to nitpick the things that are within that. So what I did, the way that I structured my answer is I said I service areas in and around Dallas, Texas, such as Uptown, Plano, Deep Ellum, and McKinney, right? Now, if you typed in something like Missy was saying, like surrounding areas, you just want to list out those surrounding areas. So that's basically what I did. So I said I service areas in and around Dallas, Texas. Instead of saying surrounding areas, I just listed out some of those locations. And that's a good way to set it up. For question number 3, which is what services do you offer your clients? I usually have everybody use this answer, which says, I am a real estate agent who helps clients list, market, and purchase homes. However, Stacy had a fantastic answer to this question. So if you ever feel like sharing your answer, Stacy, you can let everybody in on your secrets. But that just goes to show that you don't have to follow this mold. I've come up with this answer over a bunch of different tests that I've done. I find that this answer works really, really well, just as kind of a blanket statement. But basically, what you want to know is this question: what services do you offer your clients? It's just trying to figure out what people pay you to do. And it's important. I see a lot of people trip up here because they use like marketing language. You know, they'll say, I make the buying and selling process easy and fun. And it doesn't mean anything. It's just marketing language. Keep in mind, everything that you're writing in here, no one is going to see. Like it actually does not exist anywhere other than here. So you don't need to write very marketing like. You need to be very precise and informational because we're teaching AI on how to do its job. So if you guys want to use this answer, it says, I am a real estate agent who helps clients list, market, and purchase homes. This is a great setup for if you are a real estate agent. If you're using this for a team or a recruitment or anything like that, you just change a couple of things around. So instead you'd say, I am a real estate team who is focusing on recruitment and attracting agents to join my brokerage, right? That's what you would say if you wanted to set this up for recruitment. Okay. Who is your ideal client and what are they looking for? I think is the most important question on this screen right here. And that's because when you look at the content that AI creates for you, it's all geared towards your clients. Everything that we're creating, everything that you're supposed to do, AI or not, with social media is all about connecting with your potential clients and offering them solutions to their problems. So the better AI understands your clients, the better job it's going to do at talking to them. And this is the question where we help AI understand our clients. Now, you could use an answer like mine, where I've listed out, I specialize in helping first-time home buyers, upsizers, downsizers, and investors. And that's great because it's nice and specific, but you could also make this question even better. So if I wanted to do something like this answer right here, I can put this in the chat for you guys. You can see just how much more detailed you could be with this answer. So instead of saying just first-time home buyers, you could write something like, I help young professionals who are currently renting find and purchase their first home. And then instead of upsizers, you might say, I help growing families sell their current home and upsize to a home that better fits their needs. So you can see here, this is a question that more detail is going to be better every single time. If you can add more information about your clients, what positions they are in, and what you do to help them, it's going to be better every single time. Now, this bio is going to be a lot different than a normal bio. So the bio is the very last part. It says provide a short bio. You guys probably copy and pasted a bio in from your website or something like that. And that's a great place to start. But I have a formula for this bio that makes it perfect every single time. So the way that I like to run this bio, and I'll let you guys, before I move on to the next section, I'll tag you guys for questions about this, all these profile questions. So you guys will have a chance to do that. The way that I write this bio is I write it in 3 parts. Now, the first part is an introduction. The second part is talking about who my customers are and what I help them do. And then the last part is a value statement. So how am I different than everybody else? And what do my customers like about doing business with me? You'll notice here, I'm not talking about my life outside of real estate. I'm not saying like, hey, I'm a dog dad and I like to play pickleball, right? That's something that would be totally fine in a normal bio. Here, for this particular instance, AI doesn't need to know about that stuff. In fact, that does more to hurt our results than it does to help us. So we want to try to stay in these guidelines. You want to do an introduction, talk about your customers, and then talk about how you're different. And that's just so that AI can do the best job possible at creating content that is focused about your business. So the way that I start this bio out, I start the same every single time. And I think this is something that you guys should do as well. My intro says, hi, I'm Kyle Ranieri. I'm an experienced real estate agent servicing the Dallas area. Now you can play around with this a little bit. You could change out experienced with some kind of different adjective if you wanted to. Obviously, your location is going to be different than mine, but it's important to start out this bio with an introduction so that AI understands who it is pretending to be. Once again, is it speaking in first person or is it speaking in third person? If I was running this as a team or a brokerage, I would answer all of this in third person. I'd say, hi, we are the Kyle Ranieri real estate team, right? So that AI knows to speak in third person. The second part is basically just a copy and paste from our answer to question 4. So our answer to question 4, who is your ideal client? What are they looking for? If we answer that question correctly, so give it a lot of detail, more detail than I have right here, you can just take that answer, copy and paste it, and make that the middle part of your bio. Because what that question should answer is, who are my customers and what do I help them do? Right? Now, the reason that we're going to say that twice, that exact same thing twice, is because the single most important thing for AI to understand about us is who are our customers and what do we help them do? So I'm going to say it twice. Put that in my bio plus my introduction. At this point, with all of these questions answered, AI has a much better understanding of what your business is, what people pay you to do, and who your clients are. The problem is AI does not understand yet how you yourself are different than all the other agents that might do something similar in your area with the same kinds of customers. So that's where the value statement comes in. The very last part of this bio is going to be a value proposition. So I like to start that out by writing something like my client's value. My client's value is a really good way to start this off. And then I like to go into a little bit of detail, write 2, 3, 4 sentences about what like feedback that I've gotten, testimonials, reviews, basically, why do people like doing business with me? And the more you can write here, the better, because it's going to give AI more understanding of how your business is personal to you and what your clients see in you so that it can replicate that through its content. So that's the last part of your bio, is that value proposition. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on the profile questions side of things here? I know a lot of you guys have seen this before, but Alicia?
Um, just some questions from the brokerage side because I'm doing this more as a broker. So, name of company, would I go ahead and put the brokerage name there since it's a brokerage? Okay. And then our ideal client and what are they looking for? I have wrote like a huge paragraph in there. I'm guessing should I move that paragraph down to the bottom part where it talks about the bio and kind of shorten it up for the ideal client?
So you can, if you want to send that paragraph in the chat, I can take a look at it.
It's long.
It's okay to have a really long answer here, but you definitely have to stay on track. I see a lot of times when people have really long answers, it'll kind of you'll get away from just your client and you'll start talking about you and your business, and that's not the place for that. So let me check this out here.
Okay.
Specialize in helping real estate agents who keep trying leads and knocking, cold calling, hustling. Our best target agent is someone who's 4 to 6 years transactions a year. Can't see anything more. This isn't bad. Here's what I would add to this.
Okay.
So I would, this is actually a really good start. I want to know how you solve a lot of these problems.
Okay.
So like add just, in like read through that again and say, this is the problem and this is how we help them solve it. And I think that's going to help give you, yeah, Missy, absolutely. If you want to throw yours in there.
And
Um,
do I put that in the bio section though, or do I put it in the ideal client section? Or
in
both?
the ideal client, and then what you're going to end up doing is you're going to copy and paste your answer to the ideal client question, and that's going to be the entire middle part of your bio anyway. So you're going to
Okay.
end up having both of them in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. I will work on that now.
Wonderful. And I think Missy is going to throw hers in here in the chat. Let me check this out. So agent of commercial lenders, dedicated to helping clients myself. Clients. Is this the bio, Missy, or is this who's your ideal client?
That's the bio. I couldn't fit it all in. That's the rest of it.
Gotcha. So the first thing is you want to stick to first person. So I would take out this first part and just do an intro like I have. We're going to say, hi, I'm Missy. I'm an experienced real estate agent. A couple other things, and I'm sure there's somebody in here that's also done this as well. I have pretty much everybody does this, so it's not your fault. This, 9 years of experience and $25 million in sales. You want to remove any numbers, and you don't
Okay.
want any numbers in all your answers, just because AI tends to hyper fixate on that number. So what you're going to see is your content's going to say, as somebody with 9 years of experience and 25 million in sales, it's going to say that literally every single time. I do not know
Okay.
why. So it's best just to remove it.
I
And
copied it from my bio.
totally, it's totally normal to have that in a regular
Yeah.
bio. Okay, then I had a couple clients sell and invest in. It's been built on strong foundation of clients' needs. So this middle part right here where it says like I built it off a strong foundation for my clients' needs, just take that sentence out. And because the next one is good, where we're really talking about our clients. Every step of the process. Financial coach. Got it. Great. So I would take this part. I'll copy and paste it in the chat.
Can I put my one that ChatGPT just made for me in there and see what you think of it?
Yeah, let's see it.
I just wonder if the and it has agent cheerleader, but I wonder if the I'm curious about is if my solving the problems is specific enough, or do I need to be more specific with it?
Check that out. And Missy, I just threw some feedback in there in the chat.
Okay.
Check this out. Your client's a real estate agent who's tired of chasing old leads, overwhelmed by inconsistent. I like that middle part. I would have ChatGPT. So I really like this beginning part right here, and I would keep this part, but then take these parts right here.
I can't see what you're highlighting.
Oh, I put it back in the chat. Like I sent it
Oh,
as in the,
okay. Oh,
I,
okay.
yep. So then this part right here, these bullet points,
Hmm.
try to, instead of having them as bulleted points, just say, we offer, like, I want you to you do a really good job of identifying, like, these are their problems, but it needs to equally say, and this is how we solve them in a
Gotcha.
non-bullet pointed manner, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
I'll work on that. Thank you.
No problem. It's good. All right. And then, by the way, you guys can always come back and work on these profile questions whenever you need it. Just make sure if you're going to leave this screen that you always click on that red save and start generating button. Stacy, go ahead.
Now, I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to make sure. When
Mhm.
we are creating in Canva and we bring it over to real estate content, unless we save it or upload it from our hard drive, is that the only way that we'll have a folder for it? Like, is there not? I guess what I was looking for was like if I created something in Canva, it would kind of populate in my um
Yeah, like
editor.
into your account. It won't do it automatically. So like because
Okay,
those like people use Canva for tons of different things. So
sure.
right. So if you created something on Canva and it wasn't for your real estate business, we don't want it to bring it into the system. So you would have to just bring it in manually if you wanted to add something new.
Well, I guess I meant it more so for if I brought it over, using the link. Because of course it saves in my Canva, but
Right.
in it's only there as a scheduled um editing post, but it's not in the like saved, if that makes sense. I guess I have to save it as a preset. Is that probably what I have to do?
Um, if I understand correctly, it would be like if you wanted to sorry. If you wanted it to show up in like your uploaded folder here.
I guess so. So I would have to download it and then upload it for it just to come over.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how it would appear in the uploads folder here.
Okay.
Yep, no problem. Okay. So that's everything about the profile questions. And guys, the profile questions are a really easy way to see if your account is kind of recognizing what you want it to recognize. So let's say you make some changes to your profile questions and then just make sure you hit that save button down there at the bottom. And then you go into your calendar. If you click on this button that says suggest topic, it's going to give you a bunch of recommended topics that are based on your profile questions. So let's say I'm looking through these topics and I'm like, oh, I really don't like that it's talking about this specific location. Well, now I know to go back into my persona and take that location out, and it will change that. So it's kind of an easy litmus test to where you don't have to go as far as actually creating posts to figure out if your account is working the way you want it to. Just jump into your calendar, click this button, it says suggest topic, and you can really quickly at a glance get a good idea of what's working and what's not. Okay. All right. Once you guys are done making changes to your profile questions, again, just make sure you go ahead and hit save because I want to talk really quick about the settings page. So the settings page, you can find it by expanding the left-hand sidebar. Again, to do that, you just click on this little arrow on the top left-hand side, and then you're going to select settings right here. Once you click on settings, you click on account. It's going to give you this page that has a full post branding option and then all of your brand colors right here. This, everything underneath post branding, so it says name, company, email, phone, website, headshot / logo. All of that stuff is going to appear on the bottom left of all of my social media content as long as I have that option toggled on. So you guys can see right here, it says Kyle Ranieri, text me with my phone number, and it's got my headshot. And if I jump back to my settings, it says Kyle Ranieri, text me, phone number, my headshot. So basically, everything that we type in right here is going to appear automatically on our social media content as long as we have that setting turned on. Now, you guys have probably already noticed that even though this says, email, phone, and website, I didn't really follow the rules here. And I want you guys to feel like you can do that too. So when you come into this settings page for the first time, you're going to see that all of these are gray like this. So you want to make sure that you click on all of those dots, those gray dots, and that will allow you to fill out these forms. Once you have everything toggled on, you can click into these forms right here and type in literally whatever you want. Even though it says name, company, email, phone, website, you don't have to do what it's telling you. Think of it as line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with this, and I've seen it work better in a lot of different ways. The reason I have mine set up to say just my name and then text me and my phone number, I really like this setup because it's simple, it's clean, it's easy to read. Most importantly, it's giving somebody one option and it's telling them what to do. That's a lot more effective than putting my name and my phone and my website all and cramming it in the bottom left corner of a phone screen. It's a lot more effective to do it this way. So I recommend doing something like that. And Missy, this is going to show up all in the bottom left corner of your social media posts. So I can show you guys an example right here. Here's a social media post that AI has made for me, and it's right there on the bottom left corner. So there's a lot of different things that you guys can do with this. If you have compliance standards, so if you need to have your brokerage name, I love putting that right there where it says company. If you have to do your license number, you can throw this in here as well. Alicia, if you wanted to do like office number or call us, that would be a good one. Makes you look a little bit more professional for a brokerage. There's a lot of cool things that you guys could do with these settings right here to really get the best outcome. One thing I want to specify, this says headshot / logo. That does mean or, not and. So it's either your headshot or your logo right here. Headshots work really, really well right here because it's going to crop it into a circle. If you try to put your logo in, just be aware it's going to crop it into that circle and it might cut the edges off. So you might have to resize it to get everything to fit in there. Stacy, do you have a quick question about the personas I can answer for you?
Sure. So I created a second persona. And when I went in to do the quick, let me pull it up so I can read it specifically. The quick topic, the 30 suggested topics, it
Yep.
never populated.
In what way?
So it just says topic idea and it looks like it's thinking, but nothing ever happens. And I've done this since probably been working on it since over the weekend, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've come back, I've signed out, signed back in, tried to get it to, repopulate, and nothing comes up for this persona.
Did you, in the top right where it says personas, you clicked on the different one, correct?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. So yeah, I would say, so right on that, typically if something is not loading for suggested topics, refresh fixes it. I'm sure you tried that. Or if you logged out and logged back in, it kind of does the same thing. But anytime something like, I'll do it right here. So if I clear this and then hit generate topics, it's basically giving you that loading screen right there.
Yes.
And this is what you would be stuck on. I've seen that happen. And I've seen that happen with default personas too. Just hitting refresh on the page usually fixes that. So you just saw mine load in here. Hitting refresh on the page is the best way to fix that. Logging out and logging back in like you tried before is also a good way to do that. If that problem persists after you refresh, it's
Mhm.
most likely a cookies thing on your browser, but we can also do some stuff on our end to try to so that you don't have to like clear your cookies and stuff. So I would let us handle that too. So if you just hit us on support right here and say, hey, for my Persona 2, suggested topics aren't loading, we can actually check into the logs on your account and see if we can fix it so you don't have to do anything on your end.
All right, that sounds very feasible for me.
There you go. All right.
Real quick, Kyle, when we were talking about my not my bio, but I don't even know what it's called now. The short bio that then you put in the corrections and the thing.
Yep.
Did you say to make it first person?
You would make it first person. Alicia would make it third person because
No, that's fine. I just couldn't remember if you said first or third. I thought I should just.
You're good.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about in the account settings really quick is the colors. So this is for if you wanted to add your custom colors to your account and then have AI use these colors every time. I want to give a quick couple of things about these colors. First of all, if you're not used to using custom colors like these hex codes, if you're not familiar with these, this is all optional. You don't have to force yourself to do this. But if you do want to do it, there's a couple of things that you should know. The first thing is these three: text color, subtext color, contact text color. All three of those, I highly recommend you make those white because white is going to show up the best on all backgrounds. The next thing to know is where it says background color. So background color is going to show up by far the least out of all of the colors on the profile here. Shows up about once out of every 1,000 times. So you can largely ignore it. Background color, you can just make it gray or whatever you want. Overlay color, however, overlay color is going to be the most commonly used color. So whatever your primary is, if you have a design that you like to follow, you're going to want to make sure that that primary color is underneath overlay. It's going to do what you want. Okay. Again, if you don't want to do custom colors, AI can do your colors for you, but you know how to find those by entering your color codes here underneath settings and account. By the way, everything underneath account and settings will save automatically as long as you just click off into content calendar. It will save all of your answers for you. Right. I want to do a quick content generation here so that you guys can see what I think is the best way to create content using this calendar. So I'm going to go through step by step exactly what I click on and exactly what I do in order to get content in my calendar as fast as possible, but also without sacrificing quality. Does content generation only do 7 days out? No, it won't. So you're probably seeing, Missy, you're probably seeing right here where it says 7 days at a time, next 7 days right here. So that's a button, that's a shortcut button. I highly recommend you do not use that because it's going to just do the same post, a very similar post 7 days in a row. I'll show you what I do instead. But
It actually won't let me click on the days any more than 7.
so I can show you if you follow. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So I'll show you what you do instead here.
Okay.
So the first thing that I do, so I'll do July right here as an example. So I'm clicked into July. I have a totally blank July calendar. First thing that I'm going to want to do 9 times out of 10 is I'm going to click on suggest topic, which is this button right here above July, instead of typing in a topic myself. Now, you guys can still type in a topic if you want to. Just know that AI excels at real estate related topics that are informational. If you're going to do something that is not necessarily informational, like something about your local area, you're going to want to make sure that you toggle on generate with web search. You can do that by clicking on the arrow next to generate and then clicking on generate with web search right here. And that's going to tell AI to search the internet. So if I did something like, here's my top things to do this weekend in Dallas, Texas, I would toggle on generate with web search and it would do a lot better of a job. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click on suggest topic. This button right here, I can look at all the topics that AI has recommended for me. I'm going to choose one of those topics. This one's talking about my downsizers, right? And then I'm going to hit on generate, make sure that I'm clicked into July, and I'm going to make this topic. So essentially my theme is going to be something that's educational for my downsizers. And I'm going to do this for all of my Mondays in the month of July. So I've got this little calendar up right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on 7, 14, 21, and 28. That's all my Mondays in July, just like this. And then it's going to give me the option for carousels, static, or reels right here. So I'm going to do carousels for all my Mondays. And then I've got my default persona selected. Let's say for this example, I have an Instagram account, a Facebook account, and a LinkedIn account. So I'll click on those 3. Really quick, I want to show you guys some stuff about the advanced settings. So on the bottom right, you'll see this little gear that says advanced settings. If you click on that, it's going to give you a bunch of these different options in here. There's a lot of different stuff. If you guys want to learn what each of these do, you just hover your mouse over the eye with the circle around it, and it will tell you exactly what that does. What I recommend you guys start with random backgrounds toggled on. Now that should be toggled on by default. You shouldn't have to change that. Random backgrounds just means that AI is choosing a photo from its own database. The opposite to random backgrounds is saved backgrounds. So if you guys are in a situation where you don't like the photos that AI is using, if you upload enough of your own photos and then you toggle on saved backgrounds, AI will use your photos as the backgrounds automatically. So you don't have to go in and change them yourself. I see about 95% of people using random backgrounds. So just know that if you run into a situation where you do not like the photos in the background that AI has chosen, you know how to fix that now. The other 2 that I recommend, so contact info, everybody should have contact info toggled on your account. You will have to go in there and change that yourself. So you'll need to click on advanced settings and toggle contact info on. Contact info on is basically that whole text me with my phone number, headshot, all that stuff on the bottom left. When I have that toggled on, it means it's going to automatically apply it for me, so I don't have to edit it on myself. And then colors, if you added your custom colors, I recommend toggling this on. That's how you tell AI to use your custom colors every time. If you did not add custom colors and you want AI to just do colors for you, you can leave that toggled off and AI will choose something for you. By the way, all this stuff in advanced settings, you only have to mess with that once. It's going to save universally to your account, so you don't have to keep doing that every single time. But right now, I've got all my Mondays selected. That's going to talk about my downsizers, and it's going to post on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm going to hit go. Now, here's the reason why I did it that way. I like to set it up to do a theme for my Mondays, and then I'll go back in here and I'll choose another theme. I already talked about downsizers, so maybe I'll do like sellers for Wednesdays. And then Fridays, maybe I'll do like a market report, or I'll do maybe content for like first-time home buyers. And that's going to be my themes, and that's how I set up my month. Now, here's why I like to do it that way. It's because even though I have one theme and I have 9 different individual social media posts or 12 individual social media posts, every single one of those is different. Remember, this is your theme, right? So it's not making the same post 12 times. Every single thing is different, but it's all around my theme, which was essentially downsizers. Okay. So Monday's my theme for downsizers. I'll do another theme for my Wednesdays, Fridays, Tuesdays, which however many days of that month I want to post. And that is the fastest way to set up a calendar. Now, instead of just clicking on one topic and doing one day and bouncing back and forth until my calendar's filled up, I can do all my all my Tuesdays, then all my Thursdays, all my Saturdays. You do them all at one time. It's a lot easier to do it this way. And if you guys are worried about, hey, does that sacrifice quality? Not at all. Every single thing in here is different from each other, even if it's using the same topic. Also, people don't remember what they had for breakfast yesterday, let alone what you posted 7 days ago. So no worries there. Stacy?
Okay. So I did all of that, right? And then I had picked TikTok for one. I'm wondering, is it maybe if it is the whole cookies things that's maybe set up on my computer or whatever, um, it never generated into a video. Like it just kept, you know, thinking and thinking and thinking that it never generated into a video for a TikTok.
Give me some more detail here. So when you
Oh,
tried to
goodness.
create a TikTok, what steps did you follow?
Um, I believe that I did all of this, right?
She can't
And
remember
then,
what she had for breakfast. So how's she going to remember the process?
No
oh,
worries.
right. No, actually,
That's my life, actually.
I had a smoothie this morning. I remember.
There
Okay.
you go.
Um, um, I did this and then I clicked like Instagram, Facebook, and I think I didn't do LinkedIn. I did post on LinkedIn though. I just want you to know, Cal.
Good.
But I picked whatever you did in our onboarding on Monday and you changed it to the drop down. That's what I
Yeah,
did. Yeah. And follow
I got
that.
it.
And so all of the content was created for the other 2 options, but when it came to TikTok, it was just regenerating and then I didn't click out of it because I didn't want to close it out, but it never populated for me. So I
Anytime
don't know who's me.
I'll do another one on here so you guys can see it. Anytime you run into something where something is loading or generating for longer than 2 minutes, just click refresh. So it'll
I
know
did. I'm
you
a
did.
refresher. Yeah, I'm a refresher.
I'll run through it real quick just in case. So
And I'm
you'll
a signer out of. I
there
will
you,
unload an app in a minute and reload it back up.
you're pro. So
Not really.
I'll show you all real quick the steps to create a TikTok, and then maybe there'll be something different. So I'll go in here. This is an Instagram picture. So I would go into edit template and then flip it over into Reels right here. And now all of this is a video. And I'm going to hit save and exit, save my video. So that's going to take a little bit.
Can you do that again?
Yeah. So that will be, you click on edit template. It's going to pull up your So like right here, I would hit edit
Okay.
template. On the top left corner, it says Reels. So these are all videos right here. You can scroll through and see all the different videos. And then you just click on one, and now that becomes a video.
But it wasn't the template that you had up, which is the problem that I had. So the one that you had up, if you go back, it was is a smaller home your
Yeah,
key to freedom? It's not the same thing.
right. Yeah, it is
Okay.
it's this so it when it's a video, it has to be rephrased
Mhm.
because the way that videos work and to get them to be a viral hook, it has to rephrase the text. So the text won't be the same and the background.
But but it's the same
It's
because
the
like when I
yeah.
created the image and then I tried to make it a reel and it wasn't working. Every time I
Oh,
clicked on it, it went to something else.
no, yeah, it won't animate a static image. So
No,
like
it was a carousel.
yeah, like it won't turn
Yeah.
into like a moving video in a way. It
Okay.
doesn't do
You
that.
said it won't do that?
No, it will automate the slides. So like if I convert it into a video, it will turn it into a video where the slides like
Yeah,
automatically
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not gonna take like if I had a picture of a car and it's gonna like
Oh,
make the
yeah.
car like, move, it doesn't
No,
do.
but those were pictures that were like I call it B-roll. I don't know if that's the right
Yeah,
term, but
correct.
right. So, but I would think that it would take the picture and move the picture, not move the car in the picture.
No,
Right.
it doesn't
I'm
do
with you,
Okay.
that.
Missy.
Yeah. So like here, like so if that just
Just
kept loading,
generate it.
refresh and stuff like you done before, then the process for getting TikTok, so you're just gonna duplicate, click this button right here. That's gonna duplicate that post now that it's a video, and this will show up right underneath my Instagram right here. And then once that shows up, once that duplication shows up, I'll be able to click on where it says Instagram and flip it over into TikTok. So there's my duplicate. You see I have two identical posts right here. This one has an arrow. Deselect Instagram, select TikTok. Now I have a video that's going out to my TikTok right there with my caption.
Maybe that's what I did wrong. I don't think I hit duplicate, but the drop down box was there for me.
It might have been there because it was the only other time it'll show up is if you click upload your own content. And if you clicked on upload your own content and then you got that eternal loading wheel, it's because the file size that you uploaded was too large.
No, that didn't happen to me, but I had created, I don't know. I've been doing a lot. So
Yeah.
we'll just say I didn't hit duplicate because I know
No,
for a fact I didn't hit that.
duplicate is the way to get TikTok. You just got to make sure that it's
Okay.
a first. You can have it create videos right away just by instead of having carousel selected, you select Reels right here. There you go.
Now, if you select reel, you still have to go in and do the drop down for TikTok, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the duplicate.
Yep,
Okay. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. I just saw something that's now I'm like, you've got to be
Kyle,
kidding. Did
real
I miss?
quick, is that just for TikTok that you have to go in and do the duplicate?
Only for TikTok.
Okay.
But I tell you what, guys, I've got 60 seconds and I'm actually jumping on another onboarding. If I covered pretty much everything I wanted to cover with y'all, but if you want to, so if you click on join weekly training down here and you join my call, that's going to be happening in 60 seconds. Wait like an hour and then join it. And I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth on things like the editor. So if you guys want to, you can jump in an hour from now and see that if you have the time. And I record all those calls too. You guys always have the ability to get on that. Stacy was on one, and everybody else. So if you guys are itching for some more stuff, that's a great way to get it as well.
Okay. I'm still working on my persona.
No worries. Well, I'm always here to give individual feedback. So you guys have my contact information. You have access to me and my support team. Just click on help and support right here. Always talk to a real life person. I know all of y'all. So if you email me, I know your name. And I'm always here to help. So
We're a pretty
anytime.
good bunch.
Real, real
Yeah.
quick, when I if you look at my calendar, I've got it all booked out
Yep.
for what I think is June, but I may only have like 7 days. But I just noticed when I went to my calendar because I was like, I think I have a post going out today, and it says expired. So is that because I didn't hit schedule and publish?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
for the love. Okay.
yep.
Okay.
there's two ways to do that. So if post and then you hit schedule and approve right here, that's the way that you can do it. Or up here on the top right, next to schedule and publish, if you click on the arrow, there's an approve all that will approve everything in your calendar at once.
But
Thank you.
remember, he said if you hit approve all, it's done.
Be careful. Don't use it. It's very powerful.
Well, you can still
Thanks,
delete
Kyle.
them individually, but it's going to take you some time.
All
Okay.
right, y'all. I
Thanks,
gotta go.
Kyle.
Thank y'all so much. Good to see you guys.
I'm
Thank
still on
you.
here, guys, so
Bye.
you don't have
Thank
to hang up.
you.
Oh, well, I guess she did. I was going to say if you guys had any other things to go over, we can.
Who is LaFinius?
That's Denise.
Oh, hey, Denise.
I don't know if she signed up yet or not, but I know that she was wanting to. I'm playing around with my persona a little bit. I feel like I just want that to be real tight before I go in and start scheduling stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play around with it a little bit more. You muted again, Stacy. I don't know
Oh
why.
no, girl. I don't know what I'm on crazy today. That's what it is. Not loony crazy, but just doing too much. Um, that I did my persona and I wrote it out and then I put it in Chat GPT to clean it up.
Mhm.
And I showed it to him because he had us put it in the chat too, like you guys did today, and he said it was great. So yeah, I got it real crisp and clean. But that second persona is not being cooperative for me in the inside of the thing. So hopefully they can fix it because it's not generating any topics for me unless I manually put them in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna work on mine. For some reason, ChatGPT keeps. I gave it how I want it to do, like problem solution, and it just can't seem to figure that out. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna have
Chat
to
GPT can
probably
be fun
take part of
sometimes.
it and figure it out myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
All
that's it
right.
for today.
Yeah.
See you
Well,
tomorrow.
I'm gonna play around. Oh yeah, tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at noon for
Bye
an hour.
guys.
All right. Bye, everybody.